Hey guys, Chickadee Maine, aka Daboo.com with a Daboo.com surf forecast update. This forecast update brought to you by the H2O Generation Stand-Up Paddleboard, Whitey's Fish Camp, Orange Park, 220, and Swimming Pen Creek. Boards available for rental and retail. Call 904-444-2149. That's 904-444-2149. All right, guys, here's a look at the Gulf of Mexico. If you guys saw our update yesterday, we were talking about the Bay of Campeche and the Gulf of Honduras, two tropical waves moving through the region. Convection is fired back up this morning in the Bay of Campeche. Unfortunately, it looks like wind shear has increased once again overnight and is really unfavorable for anything to develop tropical in nature. We're still going to keep an eye on this. It does look like a little long period southeast groundswell is going to be working its way into the Gulf of Mexico over the next 48 to 72 hours. Most of the energy is going to be aimed at the Texas coast. We'll show you that here in just a minute, because in last night's run of the ECMWF, we may be shifting our focus up into the northwest Gulf of Mexico. We'll show you that here in just a second as well. But here's this tropical wave now moving towards the Mexican coast. Convection is fired up in here. The other tropical wave looks like it's staying pretty far to the south. That was the one that was moving towards the Gulf of Honduras. That is continuing to moving off towards the west, and convection is now firing up in the eastern Pacific. But here's what's got our attention this morning. Let me shift this imagery around. Notice this ball of convection that's firing up here just south of the Panhandle. The ECMWF last night is trying to develop a small little low, and wind shear is favorable in this little pocket right here. So this is something that we're going to be watching over the next 24, 48, probably 72 hours in here, as some of this energy that Arthur is leaving behind off the Florida East Coast, the ECMWF is suggesting that that's going to cross back over the state in here, and we could see a small area of low pressure develop in the northwest Gulf of Mexico, or northeast Gulf of Mexico. Guys, I know that you guys are starving over there. I'm just trying to give you the best optimistic view I can on what could produce surf. So keep an eye out for that and stay tuned for our updates on that. So here's what the ECMWF looks like from last night. You can see lower pressures in here towards the Panhandle and a little bit of low pressure up here off the Carolina coast as Arthur begins to exit off to the northeast. 48-hour forecast shows that low now moving back towards the northeast Gulf of Mexico, and pressure's lowering in here. 72 hours takes a small little area of low pressure and moves it up into the Panhandle. We're going to have to watch the afternoon run and to see if we get any convective blow up in here this afternoon to see if it gives us a shot at a developing low right here in the northeast Gulf. When we look at the latest swell forecast, looking at the 48, you can see that the northern extensions of both tropical waves that move through the region now is developing a small, long period groundswell aimed at the Texas and Louisiana coast. There's a little bit of a question that there might be a little bump coming for the Panhandle beaches. I know Tim Carr called me yesterday from Fluid Surf Shop and said a little sneaker 2-foot groundswell was showing up over there in Destin. And when we go out to 72, watch this now. Notice how the eastern side of that little groundswell wants to spread towards the east more, towards the Panhandle. 48 hours, 72 hours. Although it's going to be small, could be a little fun little bump coming. Stay tuned for the next update.